I've worked in the field of education in some form or another for the past 32 years. Started off as an assistant. I've been a bus aide. I've worked with children who are hearing impaired, visually impaired. I've worked with a lot of special ed children, a lot of special needs children. And I have two degrees, one in early childhood education and the other one in early childhood special ed. And things have changed so much since I started in this field, in this particular field of early childhood. And the one thing that really attracted me to early childhood was human development and how we can help to shape that, and but also how it tracks on a continuum. There are a couple of very popular um, theorists out there, early childhood developmental theorists. One is Eric Erikson and the other one is Jean Piaget. They both have developmental stages that we go through, and they are so spot on. Both of them are so spot on as to how we as humans develop. But one of the things that they talk about is at a very young age, how we think. We are concrete thinkers at very young age. That's how come you can get away with telling them that Santa Claus exists or that the Easter Bunny exists. They believe it. You show them a video, you show them Santa at the mall, you show them the Easter Bunny at the mall. That's concrete evidence to them that they believe it. Also, words are very important to children. A lot of people think kids don't understand. Yeah, they do. Kids have what's called a larger receptive language, or words that they understand, versus what they can express or what they can say. So they understand far more than what you think they understand. But they understand it within the context of their world as they know it, and at the maturity level that they know it or that they are at. Like I said, early childhood has changed so much since I started, and it's really kind of disheartening. The biggest change is behavior management and how the powers that be say that we're supposed to manage children's behavior. It all goes back to this concept of gentle parenting. Gentle parenting doesn't teach kids how to deal with something unfavorable, with something negative, with something they don't want, something they don't understand. It doesn't help them in any way, shape, or form. It only shows them that the world is kind and you get whatever you want just if you ask long enough, or you say pretty please. The world doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. The biggest predictor of success, not only in education but also in life, is called social intelligence. And social intelligence helps you to learn how to resolve conflicts, how to work things out, how to solve problems. Not just problems between people, but problems that you come across in your own life. That's just, problems that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. Gentle parenting doesn't do that, because what it does is it takes away their ability to feel anything negative. So they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to respond. Children are very concrete thinkers. So this one thing about parenting is that you explain. You're always explaining. You're very, very wordy. You give them lots and lots of words. It doesn't mean anything to them. Yes, children do have a larger receptive language than they do expressive, which means they understand more than what they can express or what they can say. But they're concrete thinkers. So they understand it within the context of the maturity level and the developmental stage that they are at. And if you're explaining, we don't lean back in the chair, because when you lean back in the chair, you'll get off balance. And when you get off balance, you're going to tip over backwards and you're going to hurt yourself. They don't care. I'm sorry, but leaning back in the chair is fun. that little bit of excitement you get when you're in that in-between position of teetering on the brink is fascinating and exciting, and that's what they want. But if you take all that time to explain that, by the time you get all the words out, they've already fallen and hit in their head. So, yeah, we got to do better. We got to do better. This touchy-feely stuff that our society has come to, it's just, it's not working. It's creating a generation that doesn't know how to deal with conflict. It doesn't know how to deal with problems. They clam up. They shut off. They don't deal with things. And that's not the way life is, unfortunately. And it seems like early childhood education is going more and more in the direction of sit down and write your letters, sit down and learn your phonics, sit down and write your numbers, sit down and learn to count. Yes, they can learn all that stuff. And yes, up until the age of 5 is the best time for learning. But you do it through play. You do it through embedding those activities in the child's play, not by sitting down with a piece of paper and a pencil in their hand, which the muscles in their hand are not even strong enough yet to write, or they don't even have enough control over their hand yet to be able to write. So we need to take a step back. We need our no's to mean no, our yeses to mean yes. And yes, we do need to say no to children. You can't go through your entire life without saying no, especially not to a child. What if they're getting ready to run out into the middle of traffic? You're going to say, now, Johnny, you see that car coming? If you run out there and they get to you in time at the rate of speed that they're going to hit you. By that time, the kid's already in the middle of the road and he's flat. No. You have to say no. No. You may not go out into the street. And words are important to children. Words carry certain connotations and certain meanings. May, when you say may to a child, it implies permission. When you say can to a child, it implies ability. So if you tell a child you can't do that, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, oh, yes, I can. Just watch me. But if you say you may not do that, that has a different meaning for them. Like I said, kids have a larger receptive language than they do expressive language. But we're going in a totally wrong direction in early childhood. Yeah, we need to be teaching them. We need to be laying the basics. That is true. But we do it through play. We do it through teachable moments, not through lecture where you have them sit down and you go through a lesson. That's for high school. That's for college. That's not for children. It's through play. It's through discovery. Can you guide the discovery? Sure you can. Absolutely you can. But what you don't want to do is orchestrate it. You want them to do the discovery. That's when you see the aha moments. And that's the best part of early childhood.